Time now to connect to Congress, a segment where we talk directly to Washington lawmakers who represent us here in the San Joaquin Valley. Right now, we're talking with Democratic Representative of California's 21st Congressional District, Jim Costa, live from Washington, D.C. Congressman Costa, thanks for joining us today.
Well, thank you, Kim. As I say, it's always great to be on Great Day. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, a lot of Central Valley families, farmers, feeling the pressure from tariffs. Can you talk about what kind of impact that you're seeing locally in your district? What's being done to help farmers, growers, dairies get through this?
Well, we're first of all trying to push back on these tariffs that are adversely impacting our agriculture economy. We've had agricultural groups coming into my office and my colleagues for the last month with great fear that these markets are going to plummet. 44% of our California agriculture, the #1 agricultural state in the nation, is exported. Therefore, our dependency upon the ability to export our tree nuts, almonds, pistachios, walnuts, our dairy products. 20% of the dairy production in the nation comes in California. 80% of the citrus production, our specialty crops. 90% of the canned tomatoes in America come from California. The list goes on. And so therefore the farmers, the agriculture economy, the farming interests are very much alarmed. We've been down this road before during Trump's first administration. And in some instances, we lost market share that we've never regained. So what we're trying to do is to indicate that these tariffs, in part, run counter to the trade agreement that President Trump signed into law 5 years ago, the U.S., Mexico, Canada trade agreement that he touted as the best, most beautiful, greatest trade agreement ever known to mankind 5 years ago. And by the way, it was a good trade agreement. And there was a provision to have it reviewed every 5 years. It's supposed to be reviewed at the end of this year. That would be a far better mechanism to deal with any differences with Canada and Mexico, our neighbors, our friends, in which 40% of the trade that we are engaged in America takes place, Canada and Mexico. You know, Canada purchases 40% of California wines a month ago, not no more. 85% of the potash that we use for fertilizer in California comes from Canada. The list goes on and on. These trade tariff war is impacting America's pocketbook, American consumers, because it's a tax on them and American producers, and in terms of our investments, our 401k, our retirement systems. Yeah. It is a very serious issue that we're dealing with right now, and we're losing support and trust in our friends and our allies.
Congressman Costa, while you were talking, we just showed the Dow and now it's flipped into the green. So it just goes to show how people are feeling concerned and not really knowing how to go and how to feel and what is ahead. We only have about a minute and a half left, and I have to ask you about two very important things, SNAP and then also Medicaid. So first off, is it possible that the SNAP program, Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, formerly known as food stamps, could really be cut substantially, $230 billion or so?
Yes, and I have over 67,000 households in my congressional district, and my colleagues in the Valley have similar numbers that are food insecure and would therefore be impacted by these cuts on SNAP. It's a dichotomy. We're the richest agricultural production in the country, but yet we have almost 27 to 30% of my constituents who are food insecure and reliant on SNAP. This would have a devastating impact if these cuts are made.
Yeah, and then yesterday you had a telephone town hall, Medicaid Matters you called it. What concerns were expressed, and what can be done to protect the program?
Well, if this budget process goes through as envisioned, there'll be $880 billion in cuts to Medicaid across the country. It is America's safety net for young and old alike, for the children's health care insurance plan, for the ability to ensure that Americans have access to affordable health care. And this safety net that is so important will impact not only those people who are in economic challenging times, but our hospitals and our healthcare clinics, community medical center, and all the rural healthcare clinics that provide healthcare to people throughout the valley. This will have a devastating impact if these cuts are made.
The president and the Speaker of the House have both said that they don't understand why we keep asking, because they said that those will not be cut, along with Social Security. So why do we still keep hearing about this?
Well, because the math is very clear. If in fact we want to make these tax cuts permanent, and by the way, it also lifts our debt ceiling, and the debt ceiling is something that we want to, it's an important matter we want to reduce. This budget proposal goes in the wrong direction to benefit the wealthiest Americans without ensuring that we provide those services that Americans depend on and count on. The math is pretty easy to address. If you make these tax cuts permanent, you're going to impact other parts of the economy unless you make up the difference.
Gotcha. All right, Congressman Jim Costa, thank you very much for taking your time with us this morning in a Loud Rotunda area. We appreciate it. Great day. We'll be right back.